What's up, everybody, and welcome to another Seven Figure Photographer Live. I'm finally back. Feels like it's been forever. It's been like a month almost, and we're finally here. Thank goodness the weather isn't too nice. I might skip out today. So today I have a topic for you that I've actually, this is one that came from our list that has been on there for a long time, and I know I told you I was going to tell you about it, but I didn't tell you about it. So we're going to talk about the power of perception, marketing yourself, not just your product. And that's kind of like more or less what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about something we've talked a lot about, like where you market your business, not just necessarily yourself or the product you sell, but where you market your business versus like where your clients should be versus where they are, kind of thing. You guys have all heard me say, like, if you're looking for high-end clients, don't go to Walmart looking for your clients, right? Or don't shop at Walmart. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. But before we do that, let's go ahead and do a quick intro. What's up, guys? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sam Marvin, and I have been in the photography industry for 25 plus years. While I love being a creative, business is my passion, and elevating the industry of photography is my focus. I created the Seven Figure Photographer to share my journey to seven figures and help others find their way too.
That's amazing.
All right, we are back, and today we actually have Mia here with us, so everybody say hi to Mia. Mia is going to be there to answer or field any questions for you. I always find it funny, like it says that we have so many people waiting to view, and then as soon as my face shows up, it like drops down to like one person.
Which
They're
is
like,
me.
oh, this guy, I remember him. I don't want to listen to him. Today, well, before I jump into this, make sure anybody that is here watching with us, comment, say hi. I'm sure Tim will be here in about 30 minutes to say, oh, it's time to start the party because I'm finally here. But if you are watching this, make sure to comment. Tell us where you're watching from. If you guys are watching this on your phone and you just grabbed one of the links, I don't even know if the link sent out.
Well,
did it
not
come
on the
through?
phone, but on
Oh yeah,
Facebook.
it did come through. So if you got the link and you're not figuring out how to add a comment or how to chat, make sure to go into the app, or it says open app, and sign in to be able to do that. So I want to tell a quick story, kind of, or outline a story for you guys. This was actually a topic that I came across years ago. Well, not years ago, like a year ago. And it was something that was really intriguing to me. And it really kind of aligns with a lot of the things that we've talked about. Now, I kind of chose this topic last second because I really struggle with topics. Like, I could find a topic last week that I thought I wanted to talk on, and if it doesn't like align with how I feel or doesn't like strike me, I don't want to talk about it that morning. Like, it just doesn't work. Like, even Mia suggested a couple topics, and I was like, oh, that's a good one, but nah. And so, which I always ask her for ideas on topics, and she probably hates me because I never choose necessarily the ones that
I'm
she
used to it.
suggests. So I'm just hoping that, like, I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas about this topic. I'm hoping that maybe you can encourage my mind to get it all out there. Oh, Tim's here early.
Wow.
What up, party people? You haven't missed anything yet, except for, yeah. So like I said, I hope that I can get this out. Like I said, it's about the power of perception and really like how we market ourselves versus our product and how things can be different based on that perception. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to tell you a story. I'm just going to outline it. 7:51 a.m. in the metro subway stations in Washington, D.C., January 12th, 2007. In street clothes and a baseball cap, playing a $3.5 million Stradivarius violin, Joshua Bell went down into the subway and he played for 43 minutes. 1,000 people walked past him and he made $32 in that 43 minutes, okay? To put this into perspective, 2 weeks before that, he played in the Boston Symphony Hall to over 2,600 people at $100 a person. He's one of the most iconic violinists of today and for classical music. Now, I think that that's kind of where this like starts to get interesting, because when you think about it, like there's enough people to sell out Boston Symphony Hall for this guy multiple times. Like he does it all the time. However, if you are not into classical music, do you turn classical music on in your house? Like just listen.
Yeah, we
Like
do.
sometimes it's like nice, but it's not like my music of choice. Like there's certain things, piano music, violin music, I absolutely love. I could probably listen to those things at any given time. However, like just, I don't know, some classical music I love, some like I have to be in the mood. And I think that's probably the case for a lot of people, but then there are some people that just have their music. And of course, music is art and it's all subjective, it's all that stuff. But this guy who has playing literally the best equipment, a $3.5 million violin. I didn't even know you could buy a $3.5 million violin. And he's playing to really the same population of people. However, he was kind of incognito. He's apparently well known for his hair.
Yeah.
And he was playing in a venue that, in a sense, was really kind of like a marketing to the masses concept. Like when you think about it, like people talk about doing billboard ads, and it's interesting because billboard ads are great for some people, but you are marketing to the masses. And if you think about it, if you're paying $1,000 a month for a billboard ad, which I don't think you could even do that for that anymore. If you're paying $1,000 a month for a billboard ad, then and 100,000 people drive by and see that ad, you're basically, let's say maybe one person calls you. And so that one person might be worth it. However, you've spent money on the other 900 or 99,999 people that saw that ad. Did that make sense? So anyway, the concept behind this and what I really want to pound home is here you have an incredible artist playing with the best equipment and really a prodigy in his own right, playing music. Now, there's a couple of things at play. How many of those 1,000 people that passed him in the subway give two, like, I can't say, well, I can say it, but two craps, two shits about, I'm just going to go for it, about music, let alone classical music, let alone violin. And so I think that the interesting aspect, now, if you guys haven't had a chance, or if you do get a chance, go type in the Joshua Bell Project or Joshua Bell Experiment. You know, this was done in conjunction with like the Washington Post. This experiment was to really show kind of the concept of like, no matter who you are, if you're not marketing to the right people and what the people want, it doesn't so much matter. So here is a guy that people normally have to pay a lot of money, and 2,600 people at $100 a pop, that's $260,000.
A lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Now, of course, he doesn't get all that money, but a percentage of it goes to...
More than $32.
Oh, yeah, a lot more than $32. And so a huge... But that's a huge difference. $32. They said that one person actually recognized who he was from his music and his face and gave him a $20 bill. So really, like out of all those people, not many people recognize that. Now, this kind of goes along in line with the whole concept of what I've talked about with, you know, when you put yourself into the shoes of the people that you're trying to attract into your market, and you basically experience the things that they experience, you shop the places they shop, those things, or you look for the people in the right places. So for instance, if Josh was looking for his type of client that's willing to pay $100 to sit through an hour of his music, that sounded really nice, to enjoy an hour of his music, then, you know, obviously the subway may not be the right place. And it was interesting how they did this experiment, because they didn't start from like because how many times do we walk in the subway and we see people, or even in Las Vegas, and you see
it's
people
common.
like when we were in Las Vegas last time, we saw this guy that was amazing. Like he was an amazing drummer, and all he was using was buckets, right? So at what point, if that guy had been recognized or what do they call it, found, discovered, yeah, what would he be in that position? So ultimately, the concept of perception in the fact that where you are and where your clients may be is what matters, and the money is in marketing yourself and what you offer, not necessarily the products that you offer. And so I think that this is really vital because, when and of course with seniors, it's really challenging because I think that we've met a lot more people like going to the football games versus, when we post on social media, we have a tendency to, at least post like the fun things we're doing. But a lot of times what we've always posted was just pictures, right? Whereas I don't think the pictures do nearly as well as like the experiences that we're having with people and that kind of thing. So, I had some other notes here, but I don't know that so my chair's squeaking really bad. Again, the concept that I really kind of want to drive home about this is the perception of like, we all think that just marketing and like showing people the good pictures or putting it out there, for instance, our social media, and I haven't looked at the metrics lately, but for a long time, our social media showed that our demographic was actually majority outside of our high school client base, and also not quite into our parent base.
Right.
And so
those old seniors, I think.
That's like going to a senior citizen or senior citizen center and handing out flyers for senior pictures. Like, could it help us? Could it work? Absolutely, it could. Like, if you get the right grandma that's like, oh my gosh, you should go talk to my daughter who has this kid that's a senior, like that might work. However, it's not the most effective source of marketing yourself. Now, and then you get into the whole concept of marketing yourself. Now, this really kind of gets into like what Russell Brunson teaches a lot about, the power of the, I'm sweating like a whore in church. I think when you shut that door, it might get a little stuffy in here. The power of attractive character, being able to show up on social media. And one of the things that I was actually considering for this, like for the picture for this topic, was the power of authenticity. It was a picture with the words that said the power of authenticity. And I think that that's really a key thing in being able to market yourself, being able to give people an opportunity to get to know who you truly are and marketing yourself. But again, you still have to do it in the places where where your clients are going to be. So for instance, marketing yourself, or could you imagine trying to do no matter what, you're going to find followers, but imagine trying to do the things we do on social media in a subway, like trying to just hold up pictures in a subway of like the different things you do, and trying to create communication or generate communication with people in such a that type of environment. Now, what's interesting is a lot of marketing is done in those times, which this specifically was done in the rush hour time of the subways, but yet of course, we have different types of marketing, and a lot of times that marketing is that just presence of mind, like it's just constantly something we see every day, and whether or not it's more effective marketing. Now, I think that it's really important to have like those things, but it's also something, the perception or the idea of considering, where are we marketing to these people? Like we have a tendency to, if we're posting stuff on social media in the middle of the day, Sometimes those things can get buried because ultimately a lot of the people that were targeting spend their time typically around 9 o'clock at night, 7 to 9 o'clock at night on social media. Now, again, every one of you are going to have different like target markets, and technically in seniors we have two targets that we really have to focus on. We have the kids and the parents, but then looking at something like headshots or family pictures, like where's the right times for those? But of course, if you are promoting yourself or marketing yourself as an attractive character or somebody that people are going to pay attention to, you're going to start to see those the numbers, what
Analytics?
Is it called? Huh?
Analytics,
yes, of where those clients, as long as you're reaching the right people, you're going to see where they respond the best or when they respond the best. What I'm trying to get at is that how we market isn't just about like what we're marketing or where we're marketing it, but it's also about the time that we're marketing it. And so, for instance, even with Google ads, you can have them set to run at specific times. But that's really where you kind of get into the comparison of really targeted marketing versus what's the word for really broad-based marketing?
I think I was going to go with broad, but you said, what's the word for it?
What's the word for broad-based marketing?
What do they call it, like net? Isn't there something, that fishing net thing? I
or
don't
like
remember
or
No, not punch bowl. Punch bowl would be niche down.
Would it be?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Come on, Tim. Give us what is it?
I know what you're referring to, but I don't remember.
Is it fish? No.
Fishbowl would be niche down because it's you're putting everybody into one bowl.
Into one. Yeah, I can't think of the word. But my point is the really broad marketing, like for instance, putting up a billboard ad on the side of the road. Now, that kind of thing is going to still work. It's powerful. I think some of the funniest ads I've ever seen, and I know we're kind of crossing over between ads and marketing, but are in the urinals. Like, it always cracks me up how targeted.
But you have ads in the bathroom?
Yeah, like when you go stand in front of the urinal and you're peeing, there's ads on the wall a lot of times. Yeah, and it always cracks me up because it's like, we think about, for us when we're doing marketing, like, okay, where can we find them? Where will they be? Where are they going to be spending their time? We see it a lot with high school kids. Like at the younger part of high school, the freshman, sophomore, they're just getting like a little bit of freedom. And so they're all spending time at the village. But the seniors are more like, okay, I can drive, I can go anywhere I want. And I want to just chill because I'm over high school.
So they're at home.
And so or at a friend's house, like they're just hanging out with friends. And so they don't do as much of that, like go out. And even a lot of our kids right now are doing so much online shopping. And we are I'm seeing huge trends of people just avoiding doing
Anywhere.
anything.
Still.
We've seen so much of like just that, and it's going to be really interesting to see how much it changes over the next couple of years, where we get into like these kids like Ryland's age who have spent so much time indoors playing on computers, or video games, and just avoiding the outdoors, and they're all pasty white and have no muscle tone. But anyway, again, I'm not getting my message out. I had a lot of things that I wanted to talk to, but of course I'm not as well prepared as I should have been. Partly because I just chose my topic last minute. Anybody have any questions or thoughts about, or anything you want to add?
I'm trying to think. Let's see if Tim has a question.
Tim has a question?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know if he does.
Tim had a great sale this weekend.
Did he?
Yeah.
What?
It was his top sale.
Top sale ever?
Yeah, he did awesome.
Beat his $6,000 one?
Yep. He did great. He was super excited. His photos, he started putting them on Facebook today, I saw him.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Tim, are you going to tell us what the total was so that Mia doesn't have to tell us?
I know. I want him to be able to do it. It's not my thing. I'm just super excited for him.
That's pretty cool. And it's cool how like that gives you such confidence, because like I've even had times where like this time of year where everything just slows down. 77:30. That's really good. That's awesome.
Yay.
I think we have a an applause.
Did it? You
Okay,
actually
good,
did it right.
That is awesome. So, okay, now the question is what all did you sell? Like, did you sell albums? Did you sell wall art? Did you sell it all? And a 3700 one and a few. Oh, that's awesome. Well, things are looking up for Tim. Apparently, all that mailer that
I was
he
gonna say
sent
it's
out
the
last
mailer.
year is finally paying off for him. That's awesome.
That was. You shouldn't have done that. We love you, Tim.
So, but and again, even like if only, even that, I think it's really interesting. You know, we as photographers, we do so much to try to market our business and try to, you know, we spend a lot of time on social media. My drawer keeps popping open. It's really creeping me out. I have this random drawer that pops open, and it just like I put Velcro on it, but it's like popping open faster. Like it just like shoots open, and I'm like, okay, that's creepy. But anyway, I think we as photographers have a tendency to kind of, because we don't really know, and I mean this has been a challenge for me. It's been a challenge for everybody. We don't really know. We're learning how to be marketers, like and we're learning how to market ourselves and even how to brand ourselves and how to be, you know, accountants and financial. Like we're doing so much. And marketing is just one of those things that I think is one of the hardest things to grasp. And despite, you know, how good you might think you are at it or how bad you are at it, it can be such a like throwing spaghetti noodles at the wall and seeing what sticks. And all too often we start out with just the broadest. We're trying to market to the everybody's. We're trying to make everybody our client. And realistically, like everybody out there does need photography in some sort of way or for some reason, whether it be headshots or families. Like most everybody has a family. You know, we just got done with a family portrait sale, and the whole reason was because her parents were getting old, and we got a picture of them, and they're getting ready to have their 65th anniversary in November. And you know, it may or may not be the last pictures that they ever get with their parents. So let's see. Tim says 3700 one was 30 image album. They added 10 images to it, and the $7,700 one was 30 image album, image box with 30 images, 2 canvases, and 2 smaller 8x8 brag books. That's cool. Amber Aaron says, I've tried to market to one of my local schools on sports by going to games and taking action shots, but I literally had one mom purchase her image because we have a million moms with cameras. And that's very true. You know, one of the things that we do to try to be different with that is we try to engage the audience more, and we give out, like we do a I can't say that it's worked terribly well, but I have noticed that we know a lot more of the people coming in, or we've had some sort of interaction with the people that are coming in. You know, or they recognize who we are because we've been there and our face has been shown. And so what we typically do is like I said, we interact a lot more with the crowd. We take pictures of the crowd. We give out, it's always a huge hit when we give out Dutch cards. I'll buy like $50 to $100 worth of Dutch cards, which is just our local coffee shop. Starbucks cards would work, or really probably anything. Gas cards you could do. That might not be a bad idea to try. And then we just use the keyword marketing aspect or keyword texting through Leads Pro for basically driving people, getting their information, and that we can market to them then afterwards. So I actually used to do that a lot, going to shooting sports at the schools and trying to sell them. For some reason, it doesn't do terribly well. But what I've done is I've just made that aspect kind of like my marketing, whereas I just go in, I take the pictures, I put them up for free, and it really just brings attention to the fact I'm there, who I am, and I look at that as a loss leader. It's just like Costco and their chicken or their hot dogs.
But they do have to enter their information, like their name and their email address. So you are getting something in return.
Yeah, and so we have a big QR code, and we do like little giveaway things, like the gift cards. And so I either put it on my back, or Mia, or I hold it up, or I get the kids to go around and give them out to so they'll hold them up in front of the crowd. And what happens is people text the number, or text football to this number, and we get all their information, and then it can automatically ask them questions like what year they graduate and that stuff, and we can market to those people specifically. And so I think that it has been beneficial.
Yeah.
It's been fun, and it's kind of just a way to be out amongst the people. Again, it's being where the people are. Like, how often do we spend time marketing just on social media, yet we're not really getting to know the people? Where I started where I really started to progress in the senior market business was when I started going to the games. I met a couple of cheerleaders that really liked me. I did pictures for them, and that's kind of like how everything blossomed and started out. That's kind of where it all started from. So use it as an opportunity to get to know the people in your market, in that option, and then follow it up with the proper social media and connecting with those people through social media. But also don't forget to make sure that what you're doing includes the parents, or gives some sort of, which is great, because if you get those pictures and they post them, then the parents have the options for those pictures. But there's other ways, because like me going to the football games is how we got Shandy and Tracy. So it does work.
Oh yeah, Tracy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but again, guys, just remember where you are and where you're doing your marketing, where you're spending your time, is what matters. There's some there's a young girl that takes pictures at one of our high schools, and she really has kind of cornered the market on people there, because she's amongst them. She's their age.
She's relatable.
She's relatable. I'm not really relatable to all these girls anymore. Well, not that I ever was, but I was more fun at some point. So all those things matter. But if you're at an old folks home and you're trying to reach high school teenagers, or if you're at an old folks home and you're trying to reach business people, you have to consider where you're doing your time. I used to make it a point to give out my business card to anybody and everybody I could. So I'd go to Walmart, and the checkout girl, I'd give her my business card. And there was a point where I realized, I was like, you know what? I felt really uncomfortable, because I was like, it's not right that I was pre-judging or pre-selling them. But I was like, okay, this person probably can't even afford what I have. But I also really lived in the mindset for a long time that I wanted to be the photographer for everybody. And that was probably a hard thing. I still struggle with that. I still want people to value what I do enough that they'll make whatever effort they have to afford it. I believe that anybody could afford it if they take the time, because we've seen a lot of people that didn't necessarily have the money make it work. We've seen people that had the money that just didn't value it. And that's a huge thing. And I think something that is vital to understand, just because you do all your marketing at a country club doesn't mean that all those people value what you do. Just because your client is filthy, loaded rich and can afford pictures doesn't mean they value pictures. A lot of times those people value experiences more, and so they're willing to pay for the experience, but they don't necessarily care about the pictures from that experience, if you will.
Or they're just keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah, sometimes, and that is a lot of it. And I'm okay with that too. But we've experienced, and maybe one of these days I'll share my nightmare client of the year.
The Joneses.
The Joneses. No, they would be the keeping up
They
with.
would be keeping up with the Joneses.
Because that's exactly what they've been doing. Like they're trying to like live this lavish lifestyle,
They'd be the
but
Cups,
they're
KUP or
the
KUJ.
yeah, Cujos. That's kind of what they've been. So Amber says, luckily my twin boys play sports, so I'm mainly going for them. But I figure, hey, why not start photographing the team and sell action shots? Amber, that's actually really great because this will be, it'll be to your benefit. I see a lot of photographers who go through this where their kids are high school students. And if you do it right, they will promote you well, or you'll just be amongst their friends. You'll get that work, that business. But you'll also get a lot of people that think, oh, well, you're my kid's friend, so I should get it cheap. If you set yourself in the right spot, you shouldn't have to worry about that. But she says, I struggle with wanting to be for everyone. Also, after changing my pricing and business last year, this year I've noticed previous clients can't afford me anymore, and it sucks, but I'm gaining more. And that is very true. I mean, I can't tell you how many times our prices have gone up. We've gotten less clients, but we're selling better or more to the clients that we do have. So I always remember this. I had a client years ago that was like one of my best clients. Her name was, well, I shouldn't probably say it. But she was amazing. And she absolutely, like, she talked me up so much. I loved her. She spoke so highly of me. But then one year I changed my prices drastically. And she's like, I can't afford you anymore. And I've always thought about her. I've always like missed her because she was like just that great client. However, and she could afford us, like totally could afford us. She lives like, but she loved my work because it was such a good value. Like, and so, and when I mean good value, it was cheap.
It was in her value range.
Yeah, it was in her spending range. And so, you're going to find good clients no matter where you're at. And I was thinking about that this week, and I was like, you know, in any business, like you go into any business and you have this feeling of, oh, that's too expensive. That's too expensive. And that's really just you like putting that out there when in fact, every one of those businesses have the high end and the low end and the middle. And sometimes it's like, I remember when I first changed my prices and went drastically crazy, that's when my business really took off. And it's, you know, yeah, I've had times, in fact, our newest nightmare client, our Cujo. That's awesome. We're going to call him Cujo from now on.
I'm sure he'll be calling in.
They were, yeah, he probably will be. They were actually longtime clients of Bambi Cantrell's, which for those of you who know who Bambi is, I was for sure that they were going to be like, oh, okay, like they're used to spending a lot of money on photography. And they are. However, they were sitting in here and they're like, wow, you're like really expensive, which I don't even like in the grand scheme of things. Like I thought I was expensive. And then I met like Jody Rail, and like, I think it's all really subjective. You know, really for me, like where my above average comes in is in the video that we do. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of like, that just changes things a little bit. But realistically, and that's one of those things that parents are all they have to have. And so naturally it's like, well, you're really expensive. But they thought I was like really, really expensive. Yet they were still talking about coming back, and I was like, no, actually, I'm even more expensive.
I think next year,
my prices are increasing by double. So, and hopefully, because they used the credit for their other son, I will have the balls to say, I'm sorry. This is
pumpkin plan.
This is my biggest challenge in my business, guys, is being able to, because we saw the writing on the wall with this one, and I still took the client. And then the writing was like spray painted on the wall and then highlighted on the wall.
Remember when you used to get frustrated because you're like, I don't think you talk very kindly to him on the phone. And I'm like, I'm trying. I'm really trying. Gosh, yeah, but you get so mad. I'm like, oh my gosh, if you knew how hard I was trying right now. Like
this client has gotten to the point where I wasn't going to talk about it, but this client's gotten to the point where we go into Leads Pro and we call him and make him call the Leads Pro just so that everything's recorded because he freaking manipulates so much shit. Like he'll call and then he'll be like, well, Mia said I could do this, or Anna said like, I could do this.
And he even remembers my name.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, now he's got your name. He just can't remember Annie's name. And he keeps asking, he's like, well, can I just get Anna's number and go sit down with her? And I'm like, no. I'm like, I don't want the wrath of her when she gets a phone call from, because it'll be every day. Michelle cusses me every day. She's like, oh my gosh, he called again today. So.
As soon as he calls, I'm like, nope, Sam's not here. Nope, I can't help you.
Well, I specifically told you that I want you to refer him to me on everything anyway. So anyway, guys, that's about it for today. I just want you to think about like where you're marketing and where you're doing your marketing and what the perception of it is. Like naturally, people are going to perceive certain things. Like and you hope that what you do gives off the perception. For instance, part of the reason I have an expensive studio is I want when people walk in that they get the perception this is going to be expensive. And so the same kind of goes in your marketing, like that perception of who you are, what you sell, or who you are that you sell. And, keep that understand that there is perception in all of it. I used to think that if I had a big fancy camera that people would think that I was legit, right?
Not anymore.
What?
Everybody has a big fancy camera.
Yeah, everybody has a big fancy camera. But also a lot of people just think that because you have a professional camera that you're a good photographer. Right?
Oh, they think the camera's good, yeah.
Yeah, they think the camera's good. You must have a really good camera. I hear that one a lot. Yeah. I love it. Favorite. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys have a good week. It is graduation week coming up next week. It's going to be, it's not going to be that busy. It's just going to be busy trying to get stuff to people, make sure everybody has things. Other than that, I hope you guys are killing it out there and getting ready for summertime and for the heat because it's coming because I'm already sweating like a pig. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for you today. So let's close this out if I can remember how to do this. It's been so long. All right, take care. Peace out, Girl Scout.